Today, I'm going to show you one of my favorite ways to cook a leg of lamb. The leg of lamb is a really forgiving joint. You could make it pink and it's wonderfully juicy and gamey. But you can also braise it for a long period and it will be falling off the bone tender. For me, when it comes to lamb, I always prefer braising the lamb's shoulder because it has more connective tissues and it's fattier. And I like my leg of lamb on the pinkish side. So today, very simple. We're simply going to roast it in a large pot with some grated carrots, some onions, and some cumin. Flavors that are inspired by plov, a very famous dish from the Central Asia region. Lamb fat and carrots, they work magic together, and we all know cumin and lamb, they work. So, let's cook some lamb. When it comes to leg of lamb or any large roasting joints, for me, one of the most important things you need to do is you need to salt this beforehand for two reasons. One, to season the bird properly, giving the salt enough time to penetrate all the way down to the bone. Two, for the salt to draw out some of the lamb's moisture, which will then be combined with the salt and reabsorbed back into the lamb. This is called dry brining. What it would do is it would break down the long protein fibers into smaller amino acid strands, making the lamb juicier and more tender. So I would do it at least the night before, but up to 3 days uncovered in the fridge, because then you have the added bonus of the salt and the fridge drying out the surface. Enough talk? Let's cook some lamb. Very simple. First, we'll peel some carrots. For 2.5 kilos of lamb, you want to have a combined weight about 1.2 kilos of all your aromatic vegetables, whatever you choose to put. If you don't have access to yellow carrots, by the way, you can just use regular carrots for the whole dish. I wouldn't use the purple ones just because then it clouds the whole thing, just purely for aesthetics. If you don't have a large pot, by the way, you can do it with an oven tray. It will have very similar results. Grab box grater, large-ish hole, and you go. Once you've done this once, then you can experiment with the aromatic vegetables you want to use. For example, in the winter, turnip or daikon, they work really well with lamb. In the summer, onions, olives, incredible flavors. Normally, when you see me cooking carrots with meat, I will sweat them or brown them to evaporate the water content, to concentrate the flavors. Today we're doing the direct opposite because we want the moisture to be released during cooking. Now, for the onion, remove the skin. Onions are less box grater friendly, so we're going to use a Japanese mandolin today. Even if this makes you cry, by the way, don't close your eyes. The knife is really sharp. Watch your fingers. Alright, now we have everything. Even though the lamb leg has been thoroughly salted, we're going to still salt the vegetables. One, to season them, and two, to help them release their moisture at the beginning of cooking. A bit of black pepper, they always go well, and some cumin to taste. Only if you like cumin. I would add the cumin to the vegetables, not to the lamb, by the way, because with this method, if you add dry spice to the lamb, it actually burns during cooking in the beginning. Now, just to help them get started, because the lamb's going to release a lot of fat, a small touch of olive oil. We'll give this a mix. Now, another thing to pay attention to is you always want to push down those the tiny veg on the sides because they will definitely burn. Perfect. I measured it, so. Now, this whole thing goes into a preheated oven at 180 Celsius fan for an hour. After which, we'll let it come out and rest for about 30 minutes. Then, we'll skim off the fat and carve. I'll see you then. After an hour in the oven and a 30-minute rest, the wine's been decanted, and we have this beauty. Ooh. The benefit of the bone-in, as opposed to the rolled version of the leg of lamb, is you get to choose the doneness when you carve for your guests. So of course, the closer to the outside, the more well done, and the closer to the bone, the more pink. Beautiful. Now, with any lamb dishes, as I've said a gazillion times, you always want a hot plate. There's nothing more off-putting than solidified lamb fat. We grab some of these wonderful vegetables, perfectly cooked with some lamb fat. Oh yes. How beautiful is that? This is pot roasted leg of lamb with grated carrots and onions. I really hope you enjoy.